One of the biggest misconceptions about Bhagwan Sri Krishna is the way his life is reduced, either to a romanticized tale of a playful teenager surrounded by 16,000 Gopikas, or worse, into a subject of ridicule by those who misunderstand or deliberately distort his divine actions. This short video is meant to clear one crucial misconception about Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Who were these 16,000 women? On one hand, devotees out of intense bhakti describe Krishna as being lovely, surrounded by Gopikas, dancing in divine bliss, etc., etc. And on the other hand, you have ugly skeptics and critics who degrade him as some sort of, I hate to use the word, but a womanizer, misinterpreting the sacred narratives of the scriptures. So let's briefly try to understand who are these 16,000 women in the life of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Anyaha cha evam vidha bharyaha Krishnasya asanan sahasrasaha bhaumam hatva tat nirodhat ahurutaha cha charu darshanaha. After Bhagwan Sri Krishna, with the help of Satyabhama Devi, killed Narakasura, he rescued thousands of women who had been held captive by Narakasura. These women were princesses from various kingdoms that had been subjugated by Narakasura, with their homes destroyed and no place to return to. They were left without refuge. Grateful to Bhagwan Sri Krishna and seeking dignity, these 16,000 women chose him as their husband. Krishna, out of compassion and responsibility, accepted them and gave them protection. That is where the number 16,000 comes from. 16,000 helpless women who sought refuge in Bhagwan Sri Krishna, and not these romantic stories that you see in televisions or films. Now, don't get me wrong, the young Krishna as a toddler, all his naughty activities and all, that's very lovely to hear. But that should not be at the cost of truth and facts. So the more context about the 16,000 women who sought refuge in Bhagwan Sri Krishna, where it appears, comes from Bhagavata Purana, where Parikshit Maharaja questions Sukha Maharshi on who were these 16,000 women. And that's where the conversation starts, where Sukha Maharshi starts explaining to Parikshit Maharaj about the 16,000 princesses. As said, after killing Narakasura, Krishna rescued 16,000 captive women, princesses from different kingdoms, abandoned by the society. Seeing Krishna, they were deeply moved and prayed, "Let Krishna be my husband." Each woman in her own way gave her heart to him. Out of compassion, not desire, Krishna accepted them, restoring their dignity. This was not romance, it was an act of dharma and upliftment, often misunderstood in modern retellings as 16,000 Gopikas. That's grossly incorrect. So what happened to the 16,000 wives of Bhagwan Sri Krishna? The reason I'm emphasizing the word wives is, often again in the quote-unquote bhakti tradition, people say that these 16,000 were not wives, they were some rishis and all sorts of weird inventions. All that is again on the other side of spectrum grossly incorrect. All the 16,000 women are wives of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, and what happened to them at the end, that's quite an emotional narrative. We'll get to that in a minute. The 8 wives of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Kalindi, Mitravinda, Nagnajiti, Bhadra and Lakshmana. All 8 of them Krishna married in different contexts and different kingdoms, which are even traceable today, pretty much in the Maharashtra region, Madhya Pradesh region, Uttar Pradesh, all the way up until Pakistan and Odisha as well. And the narrative about all these 8 wives of Bhagwan Sri Krishna and the 16,000 essentially comes from both Bhagavata Purana and Mahabharata as well. What happens to all the 16,000 and the 8 wives of Bhagwan Sri Krishna is quite an emotional ending. At the end of the avatar of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, that he is no more, but he is materially speaking killed by the arrow of a hunter. Learning that fact, Mahabharata Mausala Parva says that the 16,000 wives of Krishna wept their heart out seeing Arjuna arrive in Dwarka after Krishna's death. So all the 16,000 were with Bhagwan Sri Krishna till the end of his life on earth. And not just that, as Bhagwan Sri Krishna's body entered the funeral pyre while Arjuna was performing his final rites, his wives mounted on it. Rukmini, Gandhari. Gandhari is not the mother of Kauravas, but here another princess whom Bhagwan Sri Krishna married, who came from the Afghanistan region. So Rukmini, Gandhari, Shaibhya, Haima and Jambavati, all 5 of them did Sahagamana, or Sati Sahagamana as it popularly known as, along with the mortal remains of Krishna. Then Satyabhama and the rest of the 16,000 wives, they entered forest as the widows of Krishna to lead their rest of the life as ascetics. It's quite a very emotional ending that you would really see, and none of it is is mainstream. But the life of Krishna is not a bed of roses as we see in popular culture. And in this context, maybe a quick sidestep, there is a lot of myth that is being circulated that Krishna's heart did not burn, and that was placed in Puri Jagannath's Murti as the Brahma Padardam. That's again absolutely incorrect. We'll talk about it sometime, but that is not the heart of Krishna as it is popularly being circulated on social media. Coming back, so what you're seeing on the screen are few slokas from Mausila Parva of Mahabharata, that is at the end of the entire Yadu clan. And it's not so colorful as we really see about Krishna. We all remember that image of Vasudeva carrying Bhagwan Sri Krishna as a small cute baby on the head. But the most heart-wrenching part is when Vasudeva learns of the death of Krishna, he weeps his heart out. And as I always say, Mahabharata emanates a spectrum of emotions every time we read through it. There is no other epic like Mahabharata. From one extreme of an emotion to the other. Maybe that's the reason it is called as Panchama Veda or the fifth Veda. Let's end this short video on a positive note. Mamayo nirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhavah sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Krishna says to Arjuna as part of Bhagavad Gita that the total material substance, the prakriti, the nature is the womb of Krishna, and he impregnates it with the individual souls. Thus all living beings are born. For all the species of life that are produced, the material nature is the womb, and Krishna himself is the seed giving father. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. And as always, thanks for watching.